kids, welcome back to the National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame. Last week, we learned that all thoroughbreds have an official birthday of January 1st, no matter what day and month they were actually born on that year. Do you remember what we call these young thoroughbreds who turn 1 on January 1st? That's right, we call them yearlings. We also learned about how important the training thoroughbreds receive as yearlings is for their future racing career. As these horses enter their 2-year-old year, they will begin officially racing. We're here at the starting gate, which is part of a display inside the museum. The starting gate is very important in thoroughbred racing. Horses are loaded into the starting gate with their jockey on their back, and when the race begins, the gates open and off they go. The starting gate ensures that all horses have a fair start to the race. For the safety of the horse and the jockey, racehorses must be able to enter and exit the gate calmly and safely. Before a 2-year-old is allowed to race, they must have a gate card, which means they can properly enter and exit the starting gate according to the gate crew. The gate crew is a group of people who help with morning workouts on the track and with loading horses into the starting gate for a race. Because they see the horses every day, they are skilled at determining if a horse is able to use the starting gate safely. This is a bit like when you graduate elementary school and enter middle school. After graduation, you are ready to start 6th grade. And after receiving their gate card, a 2-year-old thoroughbred is ready to start racing. Even though thoroughbreds start racing at 2 years old, they are still very much in training. This training will help build on what they learned as a yearling and help them increase their fitness level and stamina. As a 2-year-old continues to race and train throughout the year, they develop speed, strength, and intelligence. These horses also learn how to more accurately respond and listen to their rider's commands. This is something they learned as a yearling, and they will continue to develop throughout their whole racing career. Remember how we said a 2-year-old needs their gate school certificate in order to officially start racing? Well, they also need a trainer. Every 2-year-old that appears to race at a thoroughbred racetrack in the United States must have a trainer. This is a Hall of Fame trainer named Stephen Asmussen. Do you have a guess about what a trainer does? Well, we can think of them like a coach. Do you play any sports, like soccer or softball? Maybe you watch football or baseball on TV at home. Well, all of those teams have a coach who help the players develop skills which make them a better player. The coach also teaches the individual players to work together as a team, just like a trainer helps a rider and a racehorse work together. In order to become a trainer, you need to be very knowledgeable about thoroughbreds. Trainers are responsible for all aspects of a thoroughbred's training, including what type of food they eat, their training schedule, and what races they enter. Most trainers spend about 10 to 15 years on the racetrack prior to becoming a trainer, learning everything about how to care for a thoroughbred. Many will work as grooms or hot walkers or as foremen. A groom takes care of the everyday needs of a racehorse. They feed, bathe, brush, and even bandage a horse's legs. They are responsible for cleaning the horse's stall as well. A hot walker hand walks a hot, sweaty horse after a workout to cool them down before a bath. Some hot walkers are also grooms. A foreman is in charge of the daily operations of a racing stable, so they are in charge of the grooms and the hot walkers who are taking care of the horses. The foreman is ultimately responsible for all of the horses' care underneath them. All of these jobs help a trainer understand a thoroughbred racehorse inside and out, so they can provide the best care and training regimen possible for each horse. Every horse is different and has different needs. It's a trainer's job to create exercise plans that will work the best for each horse based on their individual strengths. When a trainer decides a horse has progressed far enough in their training, it's off to the races. 2-year-olds will compete in races against other 2-year-olds, so the competition is fair. During this year, a 2-year-old thoroughbred will gain additional racing skills, which will help them compete and win. Here is a video of the 1979 Demoiselles Stakes. This 2-year-old race is run every November at the Aqueduct Racetrack in New York State. Only fillies may enter this race. Do you remember what a filly is? That's right, it's a female horse, which means all of the horses you see racing here are female. The winner of this race back in 1979 was a Hall of Fame horse named Genuine Risk. Genuine Risk is a pretty famous thoroughbred because she was the first filly to win the Kentucky Derby. We'll learn all about the Kentucky Derby and how important it is in our next video. Secretariat, a thoroughbred who started racing in 1972, set many records that still stand today. Here he is as a 2-year-old winning the Hopeful in Saratoga in 1972. He also won the Sanford in Saratoga in 1972. If a thoroughbred does well in their 2-year-old year, it will help them qualify for the top races as a 3-year-old.
Hi everyone, I'm Derva. I work here at the National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame, back again this week with another craft for you to try at home. So today, because it's December and the weather's getting a bit colder, I decided that we could do a fun little twist on the classic paper snowflakes that you might make to decorate your house. So we're going to make a horse version of the snowflake, and we have a template that we're going to be using, and the link for this template, you can find it in the description for the video, just beneath this video. So let's get started. All you need to do for this craft is print out the template and use the scissors. So I decided to print ours on this green construction paper just to make it a bit more interesting, but you can also print it out on regular printer paper, and then if you like, you could color in the horse. Basically the idea is it's on this side we have the horse face, you fold it over and then you cut it out so that the other side of the horse face will also come across on this side of the page as well. It's going to be good. Let's get started. So you just take your scissors, and each of the black spaces is what you're going to be cutting out. So it's going to go a little something like this. And as usual, you can take your time. You don't have to rush. It's better if you are careful, because then you get all the good details of the horse perfectly when you're doing this cutting. I'm using cardstock, so it's a little stiffer than regular paper. So if you are going to use cardstock, then make sure your scissors is nice and sharp, because otherwise it won't quite cut through. And it's just kind of a nice way, you know, you might like to make paper snowflakes at school or with your friends or your brothers and sisters, but this time, you can make something that looks a bit like a snowflake, but is also a really cool horse. So you kind of get the idea that just the black parts will give you a silhouette, is what it's called, of a horse face. So we're cutting out his mane here. And then the tricky parts are the internal parts. So what you do for those is you kind of bend it again, and then you make an incision. So you sort of stab the paper. And it's kind of fun, but also can be a little scary. And it's difficult if you have cardstock. So just make sure that you're able to get a nice hole so you can push your scissors through and keep working away. This is where it might get a little messy, and it doesn't matter if you go a little bit outside the lines, that is okay. You just want to make sure that you keep it mostly within the lines so that you get the right idea of the horse at the end. He looks a little scary right now, so I won't show him to you until I get this eye completely cut out. Okay, so it's something like this. And then again, you gotta kind of bend it over and make a cut so that you can cut out the proper parts there, that all the filled in bits are what you want to get rid of. And you'll notice that the silhouette doesn't come all the way to the edge of the paper, and that is so that you can unfold it and hold it and kind of hang it up, and it looks really cool then at the end. So we're getting there. Just cutting out his nose. There we go. Perfect. And then there's one more big bit of black over here that I'm going to cut out. Again, using my hopefully nice and sharp scissors. Get a proper cut going on. Cut around his ear. Okay. Oops, I made a little mistake, but that's okay. You can fix any mistakes that you make in your cutting at the end with Scotch tape is the best way to go about it. So I'll just make one more incision right over here. And I won't do the little fiddly bits of his nose and his ear just because I don't have very good scissors, and you can also leave out pretty much any of the parts that you want, but you just want to get the basic good idea of the horse. So at the end, when you unfold, it'll look something like this. Now if I cut around here when I get better scissors, then we'll have the proper lines along his nose. But yeah, this is our paper snowflake horse cutout. So hope you can try it at home, and even if you're not very good at using the scissors, it'll come out nice and cool looking.